Hello, everybody. Clash in Paris. Just went off the air just a little bit ago. We got reactions for you on this Labor Day weekend. I got things I liked, but I'm going to start with things I didn't like because I think I have minor likes, but the dislikes are major. And again, you don't like to be negative Nancy or anything like that, but this is what we do. We've got to evaluate the shows for what they are. So I'm going to start with things I didn't like from this show, and the thing that just jumps out right off the bat, and it's the final angle. And I try to. Seth and Punk will never, never, never end. And I also said AJ Lee, while it would be great to see her back, AJ Lee can't save this. It's just, I try to balance between, am I upset because the heel won, the heels were the winners, or am I upset because the story is stupid? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Yes. It's not often that heels win the main events of shows. That's just not the case, unless we're watching WCW in 1997. But with that being said, the way this main event was booked, the way that the story led up to it, it was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. We're talking a situation where, can I hate Seth Rollins because he has friends? Can I hate Seth Rollins because people who like him want to work with him? And everybody else in the match, they don't want to stick up for their people? Can I really hate Seth Rollins? Can I hate Seth Rollins that his wife stepped up? And meanwhile, AJ Lee has been sitting at home for the past decade? How can I hate on that? So it ties into, I should hate the bad guy, but I can't because I like his music. I should hate the bad guy, but I can't because he's smarter than everybody else. I should hate the bad guy, but I can't because the guys he's facing are effing idiots. You got, LA Knight was about to put him out, was about to put out Seth Rollins. And, Jey Uso just goes up and shoves him, or tries to shove LA Knight, and then Seth Rollins recovers. LA Knight gets driven into the table. Boy, that makes a lot of effing sense. How is that heelish? Seth Rollins did nothing in terms of being a bad person. He didn't cheat. He didn't do anything. At that moment, you got the good guys that are looking like idiots. And you're trying to do the whole, Jey Uso said, look, Roman Reigns told Jey Uso to look out for himself. Yeah, but not to look like an effing idiot, which he did. LA Knight, looking like an idiot. So, CM Punk's probably the only one who probably showed redeeming quality. But even in build up, he mistakenly pushed LA Knight into the table, through the table on Raw last week. And it's I don't understand. I don't understand what we're doing. And again, how can I hate the main antagonist when the main antagonist in Seth Rollins is simply better than everybody else? But, and if that's the case, though, I can't point to a single person on the Raw roster right now who I want to pinpoint and say, that guy should beat Seth Rollins. CM Punk is the Buffalo Bills of the WWE right now. Every time he comes close, he effing loses. Seth might as well be the Dallas Cowboys and CM Punk's the Buffalo Bills. What are we doing? And now WrestlePalooza, they're going to, So AJ Lee comes back. And I'm not saying I would hate AJ Lee coming back. I would love it. But AJ Lee comes back. Okay, great. They win at WrestlePalooza. Then they're going to have the championship match at the following pay-per-view, and Punk's going to lose again. What are we doing? And then, Jey Uso at LA Knight, they look like idiots. So I'm watching idiots face off against Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins, the bad guy, he has friends. They all support him. He wins the match. That's how you end the show. That's how you end the show. That's very significant. Let me jump to my other point. And Becky's one of the ones I didn't. The Becky Nikki Bella match, for whatever reason, not good. Timing was off. You're going to see on the internet, of course, Nikki at the turnbuckle and then tries to make a move, and it was just completely missed time between her and Becky, and just looked awful. And you have, this is where it becomes an issue when you have talented women that could be competing on these shows. And it's tough because you put Nikki Bella in a tough spot because the wrestling in today's WWE is significantly better than what it was in the Divas era. But another case where a Hall of Famer comes back, Hall of Famer doesn't look that good. What can you do? So it was disappointing that match was disappointing because at least with that feud, the feud itself was pretty solid, but just the match didn't materialize. It wasn't good, to be perfectly honest. And then I'm going to also say this. This year with the, since we're putting in promotions for different major commercials and different things like that, the pacing of these PLE shows are terrible. They are terrible. And they all start the same. You start with an hour-long opener. It's seemingly an hour. So, I already knew right off rip, okay, Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed, they're going to take forever. And then you go a solid 15 to 20 minutes before the next match starts. A solid 15 to 20 minutes before each match starts. We got to promote, Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford. We got to promote the World Cup. Why are we promoting the World Cup? Why? Why are we promoting the World Cup in the middle of a PLE that's already taking forever to finish? We're promoting the effing World Cup. We got to do all this. We got to promote WWE Unreal. We got to promote this. We got to promote that. Oh, and finally we get around to the match. Oh, by the way, since, Peacock, and this will be the last month you deal with this, you got a commercial, unless you got Peacock Premium, and then you see a long video package going in. But if you're a regular Peacock subscriber, you got 3 minutes of commercials before that. So what are we doing? What are we doing? This is TKO influence ruining a good product. TKO influence. This is UFC pay-per-views. This is how boxing pay-per-views go. Where we're waiting 15, 20 minutes before the next match. And it takes you completely out of the flow of the show that you're watching. I don't know. It's effing garbage how these matches are flowing or not flowing. These shows are flowing. I don't know. It's terrible. Maybe it'll change during the... It won't change. What are we doing? This is TKO that, again, brags about the top-level gate, highest gate, which means you're emptying your pockets and pouring your life savings to watch WWE. Terrible. Garbage. Absolute trash. There are a couple things I did like from the show. I do like the fact that there was storytelling during the show, even though I didn't like how it finished off. But the one thing I do appreciate about Triple H writing is that everything in the matches do connect, right? So starting with Roman Reigns opening the show, you got him and Bronson Reed. Went with the right finish, Roman winning because Bronson Reed is not on the same level as somebody like Braun Breaker. So Roman wins, but then, the stuff with Paul Heyman, that was cool. Then Braun Breaker comes out. You have the whole angle there. You disrupt the show. Adam Pearce says, hey, you gotta leave. And I like that there was resistance in leaving. I like that Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed weren't cool with just leaving. That there was resistance until Adam Pearce said, hey, you're going to be suspended without pay. And at the end of the day, you got to make money. So, yeah, I like what I'm doing here, but if I'm not getting paid, then, so we'll leave. So I do like that. Seth Rollins actually did cut a great promo with Jackie Redmond before the match, before the championship match. That promo could be my favorite promo of the week. Could be when we do our show later this week. Cena and Logan Paul, that was a great match. What else is new with Logan Paul? I'm very interested to see if they decide, what do they do with Logan Paul going forward? But I'm very intrigued. It was confirmed on their post-show that John Cena has 8 dates left. 8 left. So it's going to be open season with Cena. His next appearance is going to be at SmackDown in Chicago on Friday. So let's see what happens with the 8 dates remaining. And then the last thing, I like Rusev winning. Sheamus loses nothing by losing, but I think it's important. That was an important victory for Rusev today. That was very important for him to get the W the way he got it with the Shillelagh, the accolade. That was very important for him to get the W. Rusev and Aleister Black, those are 2 guys that were in for WWE, AEW guys. They came back this year. What do you do with those guys? And it seemed like sometimes they have momentum, then they don't. But yeah, from a feud that they had a random match on Raw, and it was like a stud match, and it's like, oh, let's make something out of this. And like I said, Sheamus would have gained nothing from winning this feud. Sheamus is at a point in his career where he could just, he could beat up, he could beat up Grayson Waller tomorrow, and things will be fine. Rusev needed this W. I don't know what's going to happen with AJ Styles and Dom Mysterio tomorrow. That should be a great match, but if, you do need mid-card heels, and Rusev is one of those guys that could, maybe you could do something with him. But he needed this W, and I thought that was a great booking decision. All right, that's it. I think Kyle's going to have reacts, too, from this show. But we'll be back tomorrow at some point during Labor Day for the Raw reacts. But, yeah, overall, I'll be honest, didn't like the show. I have questions about where things are going on the Raw side of things, on the main card, because I simply don't know who can step in. I was hoping, something significant would happen. I guess technically Becky aligned it, but we've been there and done that in a heel sense. I don't know. It doesn't. I'm concerned. I'm very concerned, especially going in the football season. This is, and especially going into that ESPN debut. I think they're going to have to load up that show. And I think that's where you see Cena, Brock Lesnar. That's where you see a couple other things. So we'll see what happens. Cody, congrats. So, all right, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow.